while the national media is losing their mind over white supremacy, trying to blame Republicans for white replacement theory, trying to link us to this mentally ill, deranged teenager that killed people in Buffalo. They ignore things like shootings here in Washington, D.C. under Mayor Muriel Bowser's purview. They completely ignore people like Kathleen Landerkin, that is so racist herself, and that she hates the people that she has in her jail.
Wow. And that was U.S. House Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. And this is the latest episode of Marjorie Taylor Greene is Dumber Than We Thought, and she thinks Americans are just as stupid as she is. What Marjorie Taylor Greene was arguing in that particular clip is that because there's an African-American mayor in Washington, D.C., where there are murders, and because the head of the D.C. jail allegedly said something about not liking white people, that is all just as bad, just as terrible as that 18-year-old white man who went to Buffalo with the N-word scribbled on his gun, had trafficked in racism and white nationalism, shot up an African-American grocery store, and killed 10 people. Yes, according to Marjorie Taylor Greene, forget about, never mind, the racist-fueled violence and carnage in Buffalo.
The mainstream media should take a look at race a little more clearly and see that really the leftists in the media are the real racists.
Leftists in the media are the real racists? Oh yeah, when was the last time a leftist in the media shot or killed anybody? When was the last time a leftist media manifesto, whatever that would be, could be directly connected to a mass shooting based on hatred? When was the last time a leftist argued that immigrants are replacing white American citizens and that this was something to be really riled up about, to be infuriated about? That stuff comes from the right. And the fact of the matter is Marjorie Taylor Greene has a long history of pushing and embracing Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and yes, even racism. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene who once suggested that 9/11 was an inside job. She claimed that Barack Obama was a Muslim. She said that the Clintons had JFK Jr. killed because somehow they thought he was a threat to their future and therefore they had his plane crashed. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene who has endorsed executing Democratic leaders, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Marjorie Taylor Greene said the California wildfires, and she wrote this on Facebook, had been started by a Jewish space laser, controlled, of course, by a Jewish family. And it was Marjorie Taylor Greene who really has no legislative accomplishments whatsoever, although she would argue that one of her accomplishments includes writing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden. This is the kind of fringe lunatic that Marjorie Taylor Greene really is.
What it is that Satan's controlling the church. The church is not doing its job. And it's not adhering to the teachings of Christ. And it's not adhering to what the Word of God says we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to live. And what they're doing by saying, oh, we have to love these people and take care of these migrants and love one another. This is loving one another. Yes, we are supposed to love one another, but their definition of what love one another means destroying our laws. It means completely perverting what our Constitution says.
Satan is a very bad character, the epitome of evil, even. And for you to believe that Satan is in control of the church, you would need evidence of probably terrible things happening. The worst things would probably start happening if Satan was controlling the church. And in Marjorie Taylor Greene's imagination, that is people being nice to migrants.
Love one another, but
there isn't a lot of room for ambiguity here.
It's not adhering to the teachings of Christ.
It's repeated throughout the Bible in many different ways, including love thy neighbor as yourself, and things like show hospitality to strangers.
Destroying our laws.
What a fascinating turn of events from the far right, because usually we have this problem that people are interpreting the Bible and applying that to legislation, and now we have the opposite problem, where Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that Satan's in control of the church because the church is no longer aligned with our Constitution and our laws.
Satan's controlling the church.
This was an awful thing to say. It's really horrible, and I don't support that she said it. I don't agree with it. That does not stop it from being terribly funny that she said it. At this point, it's like there's a bot running Marjorie Taylor Greene's speech that's just been fed Christian evangelical right-wing rhetoric, and now it's forced to come up with its own. And none of it makes coherent sense.
It means completely perverting what our Constitution says.
A bot also wouldn't understand the separation of church and state or the context of when the Constitution was written and the Bible was written, and why none of this should have anything to do, really, with our immigration policy.
Now let's talk about the comedy of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, under oath, is denying saying what she said as if video doesn't exist.
Ms. Greene, you've had your disagreements with Speaker Pelosi, isn't that right?
I'm not sure what you mean.
You've said that, haven't you, Ms. Greene, that she's a traitor to the country?
No, I haven't said that.
I like how they put in the phrase under oath, as if that's going to stop her from lying. Marjorie Taylor Greene is obviously lying. Don't these people know that video lives forever? And when she's talking in front of one of her nationalist rallies or whoever these people are that seem to listen to her as if she knows what she's talking about, they're recording it, she's recording it, she's bragging about it. And then you have to go sit in a courtroom and be like, what? No, see what had happened was, when I said what I said, you were talking about that when I said that. Yeah, Marjorie, we know.
Put up Plaintiff's Exhibit 5, please.
Oh, no, wait.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene is being taken to court by Free Speech for People, and this is an organization that goes after people who shouldn't be running. In this case, Marjorie Taylor Greene shouldn't be running for Congress, shouldn't be allowed to run for Congress, because if she is proven to have taken part in the insurrection on January 6th, which we know she did, partly in sight, she was proud of it, but not anymore. But anyway, that would disqualify her from running for Congress. You see, that's part of the 14th Amendment.
I believe by not upholding the securing the border, that violates her oath of office.
Now, here's the interesting thing about Republicans. They tend to not read the entire Constitution. They love the Second Amendment. They're always about forming a militia, unless, a militia was formed and did something, then they know nothing about it. And they also like the Fifth Amendment because that's the one they usually take when they're under oath. But it turns out there's a part of the 14th Amendment that applies here. Now, I'm going to read it to you because I didn't know about this either. Then again, I'm not a sitting congressperson, so it's not my job to know these sort of things. Anyway, in the 14th Amendment, it says, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, they go on here, to support the Constitution shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same. So basically what they're saying is you can't be in Congress if you engage in a rebellion against Congress. Ooh, Marjorie, it's in the Constitution.
Fair enough. I'm not interested in her oath of office. I'm interested in that you said that she's a traitor to our country.
So this is my favorite part about these loudmouths like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Boebert or any of them. When they're actually asked direct questions, they get really quiet and meek and humble, and suddenly they don't know anything. So Andrew Selly, or Chelly, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, he's the lawyer, he asked her, you have disagreements with Nancy Pelosi. She's like, I'm not sure what you mean. Really? You don't know what that question means? Then he says, you called her a traitor. She said, no, I haven't. Exhibit 5, Your Honor. Oh, you mean that? Well, see, she didn't protect the border. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. Did you call her a traitor? And that's when it just goes blank and you hear nothing. Of course, they have it on video of her calling Nancy Pelosi a traitor and saying Nancy Pelosi allows people in to attack the government and blah, 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 and it's treason and this and that. And yeah, she basically accuses Nancy Pelosi of doing exactly what she did, and except that Nancy Pelosi is not in charge of the Border Patrol. See, that's not how the government works. Once again, they don't read the Constitution. They don't know how the government works. But I'm pretty sure the Speaker of the House does not run the border. Anyway, it was just fun to watch her squirm. Exhibit 5, Your Honor. Oh, you mean that time. So listen, ultimately, in my opinion, I don't think this is going to matter. I told you, I don't think these January 6th hearings are going to go anywhere. I think they're going to stretch it out, and then the Democrats lose the midterms, and then the Republicans take over and drop it. But it's fun. It's fun to catch a liar in a lie.